about Dallas, make it hurt.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on today? We are here, 3 o'clock my time, 4 o'clock your time, if you're in the Eastern time zone. Whatever time zone you're in, we're here at the regular time, which can only mean one thing, at least from my end. It is time for the one and only. This is the Big Time Show that is being seen live right now on the WGBN.TV network, on Roku, and on Amazon Fire TV, as well as also on the NGBN.TV Android. This station is going completely crazy right now, and I'll tell you about that in just a second, but it's also being seen and heard live right now as we speak on the Big Time Show Facebook and YouTube page right now as well. We're live now on Twitch and Twitter. I'm there live. I don't know where else. I think somewhere else. I don't know. But I'm here. I appreciate you taking a little time out of your day on this weekend, on this great weekend. Without a doubt, if you're a follower of Jesus Christ, it is a great weekend in preparation or anticipation for tomorrow morning. Looking forward to worship on tomorrow. But that ain't what y'all are here for. I just threw that in because I'd be wrong with this service as a preacher if I didn't say something about that. I mean, come on, y'all. Come on now. It's I got to say something about that. Welcome everybody to the Big Time Show. I'm sorry. One other place. I'm live on Instagram as well right now. So I'm everywhere, hoping that you guys would, number one, share. If you don't mind, come on, share. And share it to a Cowboy fan or hater. All are welcome here in this safe place. This is a safe place for, unless you get crazy now. Now, if you get too crazy, this safe place can turn into something else, you understand? Well, I mean, I won't participate in it. I just gonna escort you out of the building, you understand? I ain't gonna argue with you, but there's a place where everybody has a chance to, voice their opinion. I always say it, and I really do mean it, that this is our show. I've been saying that since I started it. I can learn from you, just as well as you can learn from me, and whatever the case may be, we do it together. I'm not the greatest Cowboy fan as far as knowledge goes, but I do know a little something. I will say that. And but I don't know it all. Some of you may know more than I know. Therefore, we can grow together. That's what this show is really all about. Not trying to knock anybody down in their views or opinions or create an intimidation type scenario where you're scared to say something in fear or that you might get blocked or something like that. That's not how we roll here. I'm grateful for a lot of people that are here already know this. Um, just glad to have all of you here. I'm sharing right now. I got to share. Um, so many places that I share at a time. So y'all bear with me for a moment as I complete the sharing process, if you let me say that. uh, let's see what we can do on this Freestyle Saturday. I can go ahead and tell you right now that you guys are going to have to carry the show today. I really only got, I ain't going to say one thing. I got just a couple things I want to talk about. But as always, on today at least, I would love for you guys to take over the show. That's what I want with Freestyle Saturday because the Cowboys have done nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's what I should have titled this show. Absolutely nothing. That's what I should have done because it's another week. It's another couple of days since I talked to you on Monday. It's another. It is, and the Cowboys have the same story. The silence speaks volumes. The silence, the non-activity speaks silence. The library type shh. It is incredibly silent, and it's speaking volumes. And it is showing, as some of us have predicted, some of us are still in shock because we thought something would happen, and nothing has happened. And so I believe by now everybody's pretty much has caught up to the realization that you know the handwriting on the wall. You know what it is. Here's the handwriting on the wall, if you want to know, before I speak to everybody. Here's the handwriting on the wall. It's summed up in 2 words. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, that's it. Absolutely nothing. That describes what the Dallas Cowboys have done. That 2 words. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. I mean, nothing. Just letting the day go by. Just they so they so quiet that they don't even have to have meetings up there. What you meeting for? What are you gonna meet for when you know what you're not gonna do? What do you? The only thing that they probably are meeting on now is simply just to get the draft board together. That's it. They ain't looking at no help. They're not looking at any type of signings. They just need to get ready for the draft. That's what they're doing. They're not getting ready for anything. It's no question. Let me speak to everybody that is in the building. Let me see here. I'm going to Instagram first. Trinell, hey. Marcus J, what's going on? I see some of you there. Appreciate y'all popping in on Instagram over there. Let me get over here and say hello to all the rest of the good people. Oh man, my brother is here. Amp. Amp is in the building. What's up, man? Craig, Mr. Lofgren. Yes, sir. What's going on? Greg, I see you. Gregory. Terry. My brother Terry. My brother Michael Evans. What's going on? Mr. Ian Hill, CEO of the NGBN.TV network. Appreciate you, sir, popping in. Rubio. Rubio is in the building from the Rubio Method, one of my co-laborers at NGBN. Has a great show over there. Rubio talk about every and anything. His his range is incredible. Very entertaining, very funny dude. You need to check him out on YouTube if you get the chance. He's a very entertaining guy, man. I'm telling you, you'll be very, you won't leave quick. Let me put it that way. You'll stay with him. Oh Lord, you can't have a show without the hater in the building as usual. Eastside Hair. Here you go. He's in the house as expected. Mr. Kelvin Hicks, how you doing, sir? Joe, what's going on? All right, I got somebody from Memphis here, Miss Yvette. I see you right here in my hometown, so I got Memphis in the house. Miss Yvette Salter, how you doing, man? Glad to have you, Joe. I appreciate you sharing. Let's start the party off right. Everybody hit that like button for me. Everybody hit that like button. If you're on YouTube, hit that heart button rather quickly if you don't mind. Do that for you, boy. And I'll go ahead and get started right about now. Let me tell you this before I forget it. The NGBN.TV network has taken it to another level now. We're not old at all. We're very young. Kelvin, don't worry about it. He's a hater. He's a Houston Texans fan, Eastside Harold, who jumps on every Dallas Cowboy podcast. Probably everybody you listen to, Eastside he jumps on there and trolls. That's what he does. That's just how he does. He does that, and he don't even listen to his own team stuff. He know more about our team than his own team. It's just the truth. He does. He's a born hater. And you'll notice, you just watch his comments throughout the podcast. You just learn to ignore him. Only when you want to decide to talk to him, that's what I do. He'll go a whole show. See, what he trying to do is be famous on my show. And I let him, jump in, every now and then, so he can. I don't know what he's doing. He get his own show, but every now and then. Eastside, I made you famous this week. You didn't know that? See, if you ain't following, you just on YouTube. If you follow Facebook, when you did that little reel, when you came on talking about last week, I put that on as made it a reel. When you were talking about Dak and all that type of stuff. So you are famous now. You got a lot of views on the way I interacted with you. So you're on that. You definitely are on that. Probably first and last time. So you ain't got to worry about it no more. So don't try to get yourself all raw and trying to get yourself all set up think you're gonna get famous again today. I may not even answer your call. You understand? See how I do that, Kelvin Hicks? You ain't got to worry about that. You got to deal with non-Cowboy fans in life. Just it's part of the package. You don't run from them. They'll be all right. They'll be all right. All right, let's talk, y'all. When I got off the show on Monday, this is what we pretty much had said during the show. A lot of you said what I'm getting ready to say, and that is we already have established that the depth is gone. That's the first thing. And it's going, and it looks as if, the Cowboys will sign some free agents coming up. But it's not going to be, impactful free agents. They really are going to be doing free agents just for depth purposes, which is what they do anyway. So they really have not changed at all. But what happened on Monday, when last time we talked, what we had said was, okay, the last thing that can happen is that somebody we can't afford injuries in key positions because, quite simply, the depth is just, as of now, it's just not there. It's just not. It will be there by week one, but the question is the quality of the depth. There's the question. And right now, depending on what position you're looking in, you're already scratching your head. I started scratching my head on Monday, not because it's just the dealings of the Cowboys. So you already know by now. Mozzie Smith, our first round pick from last year, who Cowboys was starting to run their mouth about. Stephen Jones running his mouth saying, hey, expecting these guys to step up and all that type of stuff. Well, Mozzie Smith already tore his shoulder. Tore his shoulder up, and now Mozzie Smith will be out 3 to 4 months with a shoulder. And the reason it just goes to show, to me, you may see it differently. And I'm not saying I'm right, but it shows me how raggedy we are as far as front office work goes, as far as signing people. You just let Jonathan Hankins go. You didn't offer him nothing, or you didn't offer him enough for him to even stay. And when you look at what Seattle did, they didn't really offer him any money. No money. I think he signed for $3 million or something like that, $3-4 million. I don't know. But we let him go, and supposedly he was one of our best defensive tackles. We let Gallimore go, and I think you're supposed to let him go. Previous to that, we talked about Bohanna go the year before that. We don't have any defensive tackles other than Mozzie. And Davis, who we, a career practice squad, non-dressing guy, who we just signed, Carl Davis, I'm sorry. That's who we signed. Those are our only two guys. Everybody else too small. We still got Osi, but we've seen Osi, and I'm not knocking Osi. Osi is more of a playmaking type defensive tackle. We still have Chauncey Golston, who we're still waiting on. Maybe that's because of a lack of play. He can play inside, but he just can't climb the depth chart. So we really don't have a lot. Right now we don't. And of course, all the big name defensive tackles that were free, we weren't going to get them anyway because we weren't going, we're not going to spend the money. So now we are strictly regulated to the draft and, the draft and, the unrestricted free agents that's going to come after the draft. And then there's one other place where we need to look at. I don't know if you guys have got it on your TV right now, but because of the history of the way the Cowboys have been going for the last 2 to 3 years, everybody need to go ahead and start scouting now the XFL. The WFL, whatever it's called. The Rocks League, the combined USFL and the XFL together. You need to, the UFL, I think it's United Football League, whatever it is. That's where you need to start looking, because I guarantee you, the Cowboys, I guarantee you they're looking, because they always go get somebody from those teams. We did it with our kicker last year. We hit the jackpot. Before then, a couple years before that, we got Cavante Turpin. We hit the jackpot. All right. So you're okay. We need to start scouting now, because I guarantee you the Cowboys have eyes on the United Football League. That's what their history shows. They haven't changed, so it's easy to predict where the Cowboys are looking. So we need to watch. Well, that's right, Craig. Uh, they got some good players there. Those guys played college football. Some of them played pro ball, as far as probably maybe practice squads players. And uh, hey, Wendy, I see. Um, they got some good players there. Solid guys that are hungry, ready to play. I'm not gonna knock them at all. They just trying to get a chance. Who knows why they were cut? Who knows why they were let go? Thank God there's a place for them where they can get paid and have a chance to come back. At least the Cowboys will leave the door open for you. That's for sure. It's plenty of other teams. We just don't hear about it. We don't talk about it because they're not our team. But the Cowboys aren't the only ones that get people from the United Football League. They're not the only team. So keep your eye on that, because this is the first weekend. We got all the way up dang near the training camp almost. So keep your eye on the UFL. I guarantee you, the Cowboys are looking that way. But these are the only ways that we are going to improve. I'm telling you, because we already know it's really not going to be any trades. It's not going to be, the big dog, impact players, as I like to call them. They're already gone. So we know that's not the way. It's going to be as the Cowboys want it. Draft, the free agent pool, and maybe one or two guys from the USFL. And you can expect that, because you remember now, as I've said before, they got to have bodies, because every team has to have 90 players, 90. And the cut don't happen until the fourth preseason game. So you don't need camp bodies. There's no question about that. So don't y'all get too mad when y'all start seeing some of these signings. Y'all be saying, who? They're not signing them to make impact. They're signing them because they got to have these bodies in for preseason. There's 4 games in the preseason, I believe. They got to have them. So don't get messed up when you start hearing names and y'all say, oh my God, who did Dallas sign? A camp body. That's what they saying. A person that's not going to make the team. They have a chance of making the practice squad, maybe. But that's where we are. It is what it is. Now, I'm going back to Mozzie, because you can't tell me that you're ready to play defense and you don't have no defensive tackles. Sounds like a very familiar story to me. The Dallas Cowboys don't have nothing up the middle. It sounds like at least a 7 to 8 year story. It's the same story. We're coming into this season with the same exact problems, the same exact question marks that we've always had. It goes all the way back to the Jason Garrett era. We don't have no beef in the middle. We don't have the defensive tackles that everybody say we need, and everybody's saying all that. We are strictly solely depending on the draft to get those guys. Who knows? Maybe we can find a diamond in the rough in the draft, and who knows? Maybe they can come in and make immediate impact. There are some good defensive tackles that are in the draft this year. But the question is, because of all the other needs that we have, if you're gonna tell me you're gonna pick a defensive tackle in the 5th round, well, I don't even see him getting on the field. See, the impact right now, the impact players, people that can probably come in and really contribute, they're going to be in that rounds 1 through maybe 3 or 4, maybe, where they'll get the opportunity to kind of play immediately. So the Cowboys, since they ain't go free agent route, since they didn't, done let go all the depth, we're really in a position right now because there's already talk this week saying that this next year's off season is going to be the same thing as this. Now, because of they're saying we just don't have the money. They acting like it. We don't have the money to spend, and so we got to sign Parsons. We got to sign CD. I ain't even worried about Dak anymore. I'm convinced what's getting ready to happen with Dak. So I don't even have to talk about that. It would shock me if Dak Prescott signs an extension. It would. I'm at that point now. I think they're gonna let him walk, and Dak will move on and get paid somewhere else, heavily paid. It's just the Cowboys won't pay him, but they're gonna be probably about 12, 13 teams that'll be glad to have him, and they're gonna pay him what he gonna get. He's going to get it. It just may not be in Dallas. So it's just it's amazing to see this thing as each week goes by, how it's unraveling right before our eyes. Now I understand at some point that we have to turn the page. I get it, but not a complete erasing. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So I have no hope. I don't care what y'all say. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. Jacob just says it best. These guys who we just brought in, well, shoot. Now you gotta go. You gotta look at it. Even if let's just say for Mozzie it is 4 months. Well, that'll get you there before the season starts. But here's my question: if he comes back, we're talking about a shoulder, all right? Then we're also talking about unless he just sits there and just stuff his face. But chances are they're gonna try to keep him in some type of shape. He's gonna probably be going to the Star and trying to do some type of work. My question is, how much more weight is he gonna lose? See what I'm saying? How much is he gonna lose? I mean, he the complaint was last year, some kind of way the man lost almost 30 pounds and got pushed around a lot. Well, you have an injury like this, you probably gonna lose some more weight. If you eat, you're gonna be big, but you're not gonna be in football shape. So you ain't gonna be worth a dime this year. I'm just calling it like it is. We're talking about the shoulder. Those of you that have had shoulder type injuries, you already know what time this is. And that's even if he's able to come back. See what I'm saying? That was very depressing then to let Hankins go and Hankins didn't sign for no real money. Well, millions of dollars is real money, but I'm saying according to NFL standards, he signed for cheap with Seattle. And I'm saying when you say cheap, that's right down the Dallas Cowboys, alley. So if he only signed for that, my question is, why didn't we sign Hankins back? I don't get that. Unless you're saying he's too old, or unless you're saying we need to turn the page and get somebody younger, or unless you made up your mind we can get somebody younger here to do the same things that Hankins does. If that's the case, how they feel, then in Will McClay we trust then. That's the only way I can look at it. And it very well may be the case. Maybe there is somebody that's in the draft Sweat from Texas, and a couple other guys. Maybe these are the guys that can produce something. But until you get a helmet on with a star on it, then that's just wishful thinking. William, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. Even if he was a Zimmer guy, this is Stephen Jones written all over it. Even if he was a Zimmer guy, once Stephen entered the picture and talking about how much money we got and what we can't spend, you remember? I mean, as cheap as he was, then maybe Hankins was not in the plan. In fairness to the Jones family, maybe he was never in the plan in the first place. See, would the fan base assume that we want Hankins and Hankins ought to be with the Cowboys? That's what the fan base says. But we don't know what Jerry and Steven are thinking. It's kind of like the way they answered the Stephon Gilmore situation. You remember how they said, hey, Steven answered, hey, he was big for us, great on the field still, and great for our younger cornerbacks and all that. And then he said this, and we wish him well. And if we can work it out, we can. But your first initial statement was, we wish him well. Mine already made up. The mind is already made up. No Gilmore. Nope. At least that's what that's what I took away from it. I don't see Gilmore coming back as well. I see Greg say, this is my theory. I believe the Cowboys are talking in riddles. Everyone is assuming what the Cowboys are going to do. Look at the media guessing what the Cowboys are going to do. Well, I'm not guessing. I guess if you want to call me media, I'm not saying you are, Greg. I'm just saying I'm going to accept it because I guess that's kind of what I do now since I'm here doing this. I'm not guessing anything. I'm going strictly off actions. And right now, I have no choice but to say that the Dallas Cowboys are doing absolutely nothing. Other than signing Kendricks and our long snapper. I understand they signed Rico. I mean, other than, we've done absolutely nothing. Not enough to say, hey, okay, let's go play football. We can't say it. Let's go play football right now. We got a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. It's just not starters. It's just depth. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Greg. I got you. I mean, but there's the ESPN and Fox. To be honest with you, their stories are not too much different from what you hear, like people from me. They're not. We all saying the same thing. The Cowboys did nothing. And they can't let it go because they did a whole 2-3 weeks trying to define what all in mean. Now they got to draw back and now come to the reality of what people like me are saying. What I said 3-4 weeks ago, and I said we're in a rebuild. That's what I said. Because Dak should have been done a long time ago if that was going to be done. You could have created the salary cap space. Like they keep saying, we don't have the money. Well, create the money. Restructure the deals. And forget that. You can restructure Diggs. You give salary cap relief. You ain't done that. You can restructure Steele. You ain't done that. See what I'm saying? So it's more than just Diggs it's more than just Dak, CD, and Parsons. You have the ability to change things and restructure deals to give salary cap relief. They haven't even done that. So, I know they did the little $2 million thing with Dak, but that ain't give the salary cap relief everybody was talking about. So now they're saying the same things that I'm saying. See what I'm saying? And so they don't want to accept. And see, the ESPN and Fox it does not benefit them to have the Cowboys losing. It's big business for people like me and all those content creators because we spend all this time talking about strictly the Dallas Cowboys, and then they give the haters the chance to come on our show and throw jabs and all that kind of stuff. But the Cowboys not leading off on First Take and not leading off on Undisputed and all that kind of stuff, that's not good for business because they build their whole platform off Dallas Cowboy hate. And hate sales for the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys only win 7-8 games this year. They don't want the Cowboys in the B block or the C block of their show. They want the Cowboys to be interesting. That's why you keep hearing them run their mouths about the Cowboys, because this talk about all in and this talk about sign Dak or not sign Dak. This what leads off every day. Cowboys losing when everybody expect them to lose, that's not good business for ESPN and Fox. They done had about an 8-9 year run with the Cowboys. And what the Cowboys gonna do? 12-5, 3 straight years. Is this their year? This is what they love. We want the Cowboys to lose because we make a whole lot of money when the Cowboys lose. That's what ESPN and Fox are saying. But we don't want them to lose too much now. You know, we can deal with these 5 losses they have. Let them win 12. We want to keep everybody on the edge. And so when they finally do lose in the playoffs, then we're going to go ahead and unleash. So it's easy to see what's going on that part. But my thing is, I'm going somewhere with this. And I need y'all help on this one. With the exception of Eastside Harold, of course. It's one thing to be a lame duck coach and essentially a lame duck quarterback because they took his weapons away. And you know, took the depth away on both sides of the ball. Because they're going to get the blame. See, a lot of y'all in here you know, we all see what's going on, but see, I don't want to hear nobody blaming McCarthy, and I don't want to hear nobody blaming that. Don't want to hear it. Because they've taken everything away. They ain't tried to re-sign nobody. Didn't you hear Jerry Jones say this week, we're going to have to win with less? That's not by force. That's just by choice. Yeah. Okay. So I don't want to hear nothing about Dak just. See, this is what the fan base gonna be saying now. Dak just can't, and he can't get it done. Well, you know, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing about Coach McCarthy can't coach and all that. Taking everything away. We're sitting here actually saying we are depending on our young guys to show up in a mighty way. The Overshawns, you know what I'm saying? You know, you're hoping that Mozzie show up. You're hoping that Bland takes it even to another level. You know what I'm saying? You're hoping that the running backs, whatever running backs you have, man, but you're hoping they take it to another level. You're hoping that the young linemen, you're hoping, because see, they ain't, that, you know, I don't know. I say we're going to get offensive linemen, but for a minute there, I thought we was going to be looking, if that center is there from Oregon, I thought he would be considered. But I believe they are committed to giving Hoffman a shot, and I believe that a starter will come from the offensive line through the draft. I really do believe at 24, I believe they're going to make a decision to keep Tyler Smith at guard and that will leave the left tackle position open. I believe we're gonna put that in the hands of a rookie. And y'all know how I feel about that, but I believe that's the route that they're going. And that guy will come in as a day one starter. I believe that. Yeah, Don, I see you. I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to, they ain't gonna tell you the truth anyway about Tyler Smith. They're just not gonna tell you, hey, yeah, he's gonna play left tackle for us this year. It's just too early to be letting that card out your hand and let everybody know what's going on. I don't think that's gonna happen. I believe that they're going to draft at 24 the left tackle if he's there. The good part about it, I will say this year the left tackle position is pretty deep. Lot of good grades going on with your top 4 or 5 offensive left tackles. I know 3 of them had first round grades. 3 of them. So there's talent there this season there. So that's what I just believe. But I almost want to say, man, the Cowboys are sitting up Dak and McCarthy. I believe they are. They ain't gonna tell you that, but it sure look that way to me. Now, I'm gonna get into these hyper. I saw something early in the chat. I believe it was Michael Evans, and I believe William has just put a comment up right here. Well, let me go to this comment because Jacob put it up earlier. It said Mozzie and tight end Schoonmaker gonna be out 4 to 6 months. He hurt his shoulder as well. Luck is bad with Michigan players, and that's sad because that's my team, national champions, the Michigan Wolverines. But can't argue with that. What Jacob said because it's really the truth. These guys are nowhere to be found. They can't stay on the field. Can't stay healthy. And then there are some of them, even though it's my team, a lot of them aren't as good as advertised. I'm just going to go and say that. See, they good against Penn State and Minnesota, University of Minnesota. They good there. But when they get to the league, they their first team All-American status ain't so great. See what I'm saying? So that leads to Blake Corum, however, now I done watched Blake since he came to Michigan. I'm going and say it. He is a great running back, and that his style of running translates to the league. The only problem with Blake is he's been running a whole lot, and his tires got a little tread on it. In other words, I hate to, everybody saying, we need another running back. Corum is a real good running back. Very good running back. Catch the ball. Of course, if you watch any Michigan game, he can run the ball. He's an excellent pass blocker. A smart guy, smart dude. Runs the ball extremely hard. I love Blake Corum. I think he would fit very well here. But the Cowboys may be thinking totally different. You realize that we have here's our running back room, if I'm not mistaken. We have Rico Dowdle. We have Malik Davis. We have Deuce Vaughn. We have Hunter Lemke, and then we got Snoop Connor. I don't even know who he is. So you calling names, you got names that's on the roster that are obviously on the roster, but there's no evidence at all. Snoop Connor, I don't even, what has he done? I mean, he obviously is playing practice squad, obviously, but that's our running back room. Rico, Malik Davis, Deuce Vaughn, Snoop Connor, Hunter Lemke. You draft Blake Corum. Corum is probably right now the best running back on this roster. If you just right now between Lemke, Snoop Connor, Deuce Vaughn, Malik Davis, Rico Dowd, if you draft Blake Corum is probably the best running back right now on this team. See what I'm saying? So you gotta be honest with this stuff. It is what it is. That's where we are. I believe it's a setup, y'all. Yeah. You know, the offensive lineman, another reason why we, and the sad part is I heard Steven mention a couple of these nights. I'm like, dude, we already know what these guys are, but you're doing depth. We got, our regular stars. Then you got Brock Hoffman, who probably is going to be presumed center. TJ Bass, Matt Walesko, Josh Ball, and Hassan Richards, our draft pick from last year. I don't want to see nothing from Josh Ball. I mean, Josh Ball get tore up. Why are we calling his name out? And I'm not saying because of this, I'm just saying I heard Steven call his name out like, hey, the guy's got to step up. Josh Ball ain't nobody, man. I mean, I ain't knocking the man, but we already know. We've seen it. We've seen the destruction. Hassan Richards, got a little playing time last year. You hope that he can step up, but where you gonna play? Man, you don't trust him to be your quarterback's blind side blocker, B. You see what I'm saying? So we have to really be conscientious of what we want. So there's no sense of if y'all satisfied with, players gone, depth gone, and all that, then don't be talking about dagging them when they start losing. Nobody want to hear all that. But keep in mind this, y'all. Dak is. I already said it, Jacob. They're on TV right now. The UFL. But those are depth spots. Those are depth spots. They're not impact players. Those bodies that we sign after the draft will be strictly to fill out a roster so they can get to 90 players. Because every team has to have 90 for the entire offseason. And some of those same players will be let go of, obviously, when it's time to make the final cut to begin the new season. So I'm not excited about that at all. There's going to be a whole bunch of guys saying, you're going to be saying, who? What? Who are that? What? Who is that? Yeah. What? That's what we're going to be doing. Always coming. We ain't going to have no choice. We're not going to have any choice but to do it that way this year. So it's just amazing to me. It's amazing. Now, one last thing, and then we're going to talk about NGBN real quick, and then I'm going to open up the lines. So, the latest thing, the part that killed me is, I believe my phone is tapped because there's some things about the Cowboys I haven't said, but when I have guys that call me, and these are my friends, want to talk ball, some of the new thing that I done heard about now is I said I was going to save it, but I can't save it because evidently some other guys think like me, and Ryan Clark is one of them. So now the latest news, which is Dreamland, I may add, is the talk of the Cowboys tanking it so that possibly they can get their hands on Shedeur Sanders the quarterback of the Colorado Buffaloes, the son of Deion Sanders. Now, the reason why a lot of people are talking is because of Deion's mouth, who he has already said that there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to want the services of his son, and they ain't going. So, in other words, Deion, this is Deion, and you got to go back to his day. If you remember when Deion was drafted, the Detroit Lions had a pick above the Atlanta Falcons. Deion was there. Deion called them and told him, "Y'all don't even sign it. Y'all draft me, I ain't signing it." They believed it. Deion had already circled a good spot for him, which was Atlanta. And, he was right. Once you look at his career, he was right. I think he could have did the same thing at Detroit, but he didn't want to play with Detroit. He wanted to go to a place where there's a spotlight. This is Deion. He wanted to go place to a spotlight and where he can be himself. And he found it in Atlanta, and the history speaks for itself. He wants the same thing for his son now. Even to the point where he said that we'll pull a Manning thing. Now, that's going to be for some folks some folks are going to be too young and going to be asking the question, who does Shedeur Sanders think he is? He can't do that. A team can pick whoever they want to pick. And if they don't sell the rights and all that other stuff, you can't. This is not Colorado where you can do what you want to do. Well, the Mannings did it. Everybody forgot about that. Eli Manning, San Diego was their number one pick. San Diego had the number one pick in the draft. The Giants had the number 2 pick, I believe. And all fingers pointed, of course, to Eli being the number 1 pick. But the Manning family made it very clear that they were not going to play or be drafted. I mean, he was drafted by them, but he never played for them. Never. Instead, we all know the story. Eli ended up with the Giants. That's the bottom line. So the Manning family dictated where their son was going to play. So this is not nothing new. Deion is just being Deion. He did it. Eli Manning did it. And he's trying to dictate the same type of scenario for his son. Now, what everybody is assuming is that the Dallas Cowboys is one of those places. It makes sense. Well, what if Shedeur Sanders was the head, the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, it would take his stardom to another level. No question. No question. And of course, Deion played here in Dallas, of course. Banner is up in the air now because he was a part of a team that won the Super Bowl. And he knows what the star means. He knows what it means to win in Dallas, and he knows what can come out of that. He knows the Jones family, of course, quite well. Deion is beloved in Dallas. And most importantly, his son can play. His son is probably going to be a top 2, top 3, maybe even number 1 pick in the draft next year. And it's well earned because he can play. There's no doubt about that. He's a real good quarterback. Tom Brady is signed him to his brand. He's worked out with Brady and all. Everybody say the same thing. The kid is, well, y'all seen him play. He can play. His skill set translates well to the NFL. He's a great young football player. He's a winner. multiple time state champion, um, he will be there. Now, some of y'all, well, not y'all in this chat, but some of y'all that may be watching this, whatever day you're watching this on, because some of y'all are in the same groups that I'm in now. A lot of y'all think that Dion is coming to Dallas to be the head coach. You crazy. I'm just going to go and say that now. There's nowhere in the world that Deion Sanders will be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. It's too strong of a personality. Uh, Jerry Jones does not like sharing the stardom. He wants to be the star. He just needs a nuts and bolts type coach. Deion immediately would bring attention, of course, to the Cowboys, which is what he wants. But Jerry don't like that type of personality. Deion is a man's man. Shane, I ain't watching Arch Manning because Arch Manning can't get on the field. See, I get it, but he right now he just the name. That's just the bottom line. At least Deion's son has some stuff behind his name. He got tape. Let's put it that way. There is no tape of Arch Manning. Nothing. Arch Manning is a guy with everything that he has. He is riding the coattails, as he should, of his uncles and his grandfather. That's why he's second. I don't know how you do this, but he was second on the college football, NIL, whatever, the one that makes the most money. Arch Manning was. The ironic thing is he didn't play. Nothing. Didn't get on the field. Garbage time. Nothing. And he's the second highest? Second highest? Really? At one point he was second, then he switched down to third. I mean, I don't, there's no tape of showing him like he's great, so I don't know why I need to watch Arch Manning. He got millions off of doing nothing, NIL. He got millions off of having the hallowed Manning last name. It's definitely not because of production. It's definitely not because he done something on the field, because he ain't been on the field. So it's all about his endorsement deals, and God bless him. If my last name was Manning and I was in the family, I'd use it too. Kid is already a millionaire. It is what it is. But as far as Deion goes, y'all can let that go. Too strong of a personality. That's not a Jerry Jones type coach now. And it does not guarantee that his son would be coming. That's the only way, number one, that, the conversation, I don't think it would be a conversation, but it would have to be that way. Does Deion want his son to come to Dallas? I would think that probably his name would be on there since he want to dictate where his son possibly is going to play. I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas is there. But here's my question to you guys. And I promise you then I got to talk about NGBN, but for those that may think I'm wrong, number one, do you know how many games the Cowboys would have to lose to eventually trade up to get to the spot to where you can pick this dude in the top 3 or top 2 or whatever? You see, if that produces another double-digit win, even with a team playing less, remember, it's a less constructed football team as far as talent and depth goes. If Dak put up another 10-plus win season, and let's just say, for instance, you make the playoffs, and let's just say, for instance, that you go one and done. Well, look where the Cowboys are drafting now, because that's essentially, I just said the same thing. They're drafting at 24. I mean, 10 wins, excuse me, 10 wins may bump you up to maybe 19, 18 maybe drafted. So for all of you thinking that there's a chance, and Ryan Clark got on his show and said the same thing about why not him in Dallas. Well, you got to lose a whole lot to just let's just say, for instance, the team is number one and they really are thinking about Shedeur Sanders as number one pick. Well, do you know how much you're going to have to give up to move up to that spot? And keep in mind, you know how much the boys in the front office love to draft. Do you know how much you're going to have to give up to move up that high? Because he's not going to last to 12 and 10. And a lot of you teams are going to call his bluff. Talking about, we don't want to play with y'all. Well, you just want to play football. Because we ain't going to sell your rights or whatever. And whoever gets you is going to have to pay a very steep price. And you having the 12th pick in the draft, I mean, that ain't going to be nowhere near enough. You're going to get this dude, because his name is going to be really out there next year. If you way down low in the draft, I'm talking like 13 and 14, to get this dude, you got to be in the top 2 or 3 to get Shedeur Sanders. You know how much you're going to have to give up? You're going to have to give up picks from this year, next year, and the year after that. Money, whatever else, but no. Cowboys ain't going to do that. They love the draft. That's their claim to fame. That's why I know they ain't going to happen, because that's their most valuable thing, the draft. They ain't giving up all this stuff for Shedeur Sanders. The only way the Cowboys would get that unless they legitimately only win 2-3 games this year. That's it. That's the only way. They ain't going to pay that price. Now, y'all know that. And that's for all these people that are going to see this a little bit later on in these groups. You know what I mean? Y'all know better than that. But see, Dak gonna mess y'all up, because Dak gonna walk, and y'all gonna want the Lord, y'all gonna want the highest draft pick as possible. It ain't gonna happen, because Dak Prescott, whether y'all like him or not, whether you want to admit it or not, this dude wins ball games. I know y'all don't want to admit it, but it's the truth. Y'all know it's the truth. Dak Prescott wins football games. Appreciate the cash out there, Mr. Kill. I see it there. Thank you so much. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And I'm not gonna make this a Dak Prescott thing. I don't even want to do that, but I want to show y'all this. Just let me get it set up real quick. Let me get it real set up. Let me get it set up. Cause see, y'all hatred of Dak Prescott, it has made you blind sometimes to the obvious. And you're gonna tell the story, you gotta tell the whole story. You have to. You may want him gone, and I'm cool with it. But let's not act like, no, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna look at it yourself. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna do. All right. Just hold tight. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about right here. See that statement there, exactly. That's what they say, William. And that's disrespectful. We all saw that. We know that the defense was incredible during that game. But what happened when your defense give up 25? All that type of stuff. Somebody got to score 30. Dak puts up 30. I mean, I know y'all don't like him, but it's the truth. Let me talk about NGBN real quick, y'all. And then I will come back with what I'm going to show you. and then we can talk about that in just a second. Listen, the NGBN.TV network, which I'm proud to be a part of, it has taken it to the next level. We are now 24 hours, 7 days a week on the um, network. If you download the app, the sign is right there in the corner there. You can see that. You can put it on your Roku. You can put it on your Amazon Fire Stick. Uh, you can put it on your computer, of course. You can put it on your Android phone as well. You can download the app. It's free. It's a free free app. You can do that. We are 24/7. What I haven't told you guys is that, it really don't make a difference when you're on Facebook. You can pull my show up at any time. But on this network, I have a on-demand channel for those that want to use the NGBN.TV network app, where you can pull up all my shows, at least since I've been with them, and watch it at any time. The Big Time Show and my other show, which is Seeking Clearer Thoughts, the Seeking Clearer Thoughts show, it will be on right here at the regular time, live Mondays and Saturdays. But during the week, it will be replayed. Some of those times will be in the morning, on Thursday mornings, I'm sorry. It'll be there. Seeking Clearer Thoughts show will be, I don't know the exact date yet, but it will be shown during the week. So there's some big thing. We got over 50 people who have shows, and now we're able to go 24/7. It is literally a legitimate network. We have signed major sponsors. I haven't signed them because I don't know nobody like that. Maybe y'all can help me. Anybody got a business and is interested in advertising your business on this network, just inbox me and I can tell you way more about it and let you start seeing figures and all that type of thing. If you're interested, just let me know. I'll do that. Let me show you more about NGBN real quick. Then I'll come back and show y'all something that you already know. But let me do that. This is all about the NGBN network.
1 week after launching our exclusive sneak peek, NGBN TV was live for 3 days of continuous coverage from Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
NGBN TV is live from Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58.
The one-of-a-kind streaming TV network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s was the conversation for the big game about men's mental health. In the world of athletes, celebrities, and influencers, we're on notice. But we're just getting started with new partnerships announced like the Team Nike 3-on-3 Championship and new platforms available to download the NGBN TV app. So, what are you waiting for? Download the app today from your favorite streaming device or check us out at ngbn.tv. This is NGBN TV.
We're very serious about the suicide rates here. We're very serious between the ages of 40 and 60 for men in particular. Mental health issues are very real. Thank you, William, for sharing it with a few of the brothers over there. Prevent 22 veterans, exactly. It's very real. We want to make an impact, and maybe with just these shows that we have that that vary across everything that you can think of. It's just not a sports show. It's all about. It's really, everything: sports, hunting, fitness, mental health shows. It's just everything. And so we're really trying to make an impact, specifically in that area of our life. Coach, I see you say you can't find it in the App Store. I don't know. Look for that symbol there that you see in the chat there. Just type in ngbn.tv network. It should be there. Uh, where you can do it. If you have an Android phone, if it's not, if you have an Apple phone, we're not quite on Apple yet. We don't on the Apple TV. Excuse me, I'm saying the iPhone. I'm sorry. We're not on the iPhone yet. We're just strictly Android. If you don't have it, then just hold tight. We're coming that way now. We're just about a week and a half away from being, on the iPhones. I don't know why y'all got iPhones anyway. I've been Android for since it first came out, so it is what it is. I believe that may be your answer, Coach Bill. I don't know what you have. You may have an iPhone. If it's there, then you're not going to get it. I guarantee that. You can put it on your computer if you like. Roku TV, you can download it to your smart TVs. If you want to go that way, Coach, you can download the app. Everybody, if you help us out that way, just a download will help us out tremendously. Do that. Next year, you saw some of the faces that were in that commercial. There were plenty others. We had 4 Hall of Famers, I believe, that interviewed during Super Bowl week in Vegas last year. We had the great Rod Woodson, who was on NGBN. You saw James Brown there. We had Kenny Mayne from ESPN, or formerly from ESPN, on there. We had a few athletes that were on. We had Charlie Batch, former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. A lot of people, heard about our calls, and a lot of people joined. Next year, we already signed up for the Super Bowl. I was not able to go this season. I will be there next season in New Orleans with the NGBN network. My show probably be live there and all that type of stuff. And hopefully, we can meet some people that we've always kind of looked up to. So getting ready for that, of course, in February of next year. Looking forward to it. So we're going to have fun. Hope you guys will support us in that cause. Everybody hit the like for me if you don't mind. Hit that like button. If you don't mind, hit that like button. If you're on YouTube, hit that heart button for me. Hit that heart button. And if you're on Facebook, hit that like button or heart button. Just smash it. I need about 20 from each person. Ain't gonna take you no more than 5 seconds. All you gotta do is just smash. Just like that. Smash it, smash it, smash it, smash it. This is what I wanted to show y'all. Cause see, y'all crying, but then y'all don't want that. And I'm with you. But you ain't gave me no alternative. And are you satisfied with alternative of not having nobody? Because I want to show y'all this. I know y'all see that. Let me get this straight. I don't want it like that. Y'all see that? I know you see it. Since 2001, Dak Prescott, and I already know y'all gonna say, well, he don't win the big games. Okay, you gotta tell the whole story though. Because part of your story is true, but this is also the rest of the story. 31-14. That's 5th. 68.4 completion percentage. That's 2nd. That's every quarterback in the league. 96 touchdown passes. That's 3rd. And the most important quarterback stat of all, the passer rating. 101.6. He's 1st. Now, all y'all will name up, some of you Cowboy fans will name 7 to 8 quarterbacks that y'all swear up and down is better than he is, but I mean, that right there don't lie. So be careful what you ask for. Because see, whoever his replacement is, they're not going to be that. You understand? It may take another 10 to 12 years to finally find somebody that might even get close to that. I know y'all. I know you. If you want him gone, okay. Hey, he can't win the Super Bowl. Okay, you may be absolutely right. But one thing y'all can't say is that he can't play. 31-14. Once you add up his and y'all saying, well, you know, in 3 years you went 12-5. You ought to have. But now, listen, he played it, didn't he? We ain't counting all the other wins that he had in his previous years before that. This dude got a pretty good record, y'all. And let's just be real. You're going to tell the story. Tell the whole story. It ain't lying. Y'all see it. Y'all see it now. Let me put it this way. There's a lot of quarterbacks that y'all name that has played the same amount of games, and they don't add up to these stats that you see. Let's be realistic. I know y'all don't want to admit it. I know you don't. I know. I understand. I get it. Okay? So you have to tell the whole story. You just can't hang your hat on, well, he ain't won the playoff games. Even though that is a part of the story. It is true. That has to be factored in. But you know, even in that, you still got to factor in, okay, what does defense do that game? All that type of stuff. See, a lot of people are making make Dak pay for what the defense didn't do. That's just the truth. And yes, some of that was on Dak. However, if that's your total basis of what you think he is, you're wrong. Because you got to factor in what's on the screen there. You got to factor it in. That's called the complete body of work. That's the complete body of work. And ladies and gentlemen, those type of quarterbacks right there with those type of stats, they don't grow on trees. They don't. They don't. So be careful what you're asking for, because see, between Troy Aikman and Tony Romo, how many quarterbacks did we have? The Vinny Testaverdes, the Quincy Carters, the Drew Hensons, good Lord, folks, the Matt Castles, the Kellen Moores, the list go on and on before we finally, and we looked up and found Dak. They didn't want Dak then. They wanted Connor Cook, if y'all remember that. They wanted Paxton Lynch, if y'all remember that. They just settled for Dak. They didn't know Dak was going to come in and do all that. They wanted to give Tony Romo the job back just as soon as he got healthy. But they couldn't, because Dak had won about 10, 11, 12 games in a row. See? It's just the truth. Be careful on what you want, what you're asking for. Well, no, William, no. You can't look at it like that. You can't look at it like that. Let's just play hypothetical. This is just this is not facts. Let's just go hypothetical. Let's just say, for instance, that even with the less amount of teams, I see you, Kid Cowboy, but again, that part of what you're saying is true. But you gotta, when you evaluate a quarterback, as you know, you gotta do the whole body of work, not just 2 and 5. Even though that is a factor. And the truth be told, Kid Cowboy, you can't say that the 5 losses was all on Dak. Stop it. We all know the defenses weren't there. That don't mean that he didn't play well. He did not play well in the Green Bay game. Okay? So you got to tell the whole story. And unfortunately for you, Kid Cowboy, that right there is the whole story. Since 2001, based on all other quarterbacks in the league, it speaks for itself. It's kind of hard to argue. You got to, if you're gonna tell it, tell the whole story. So be careful what you ask for. Cause see, the same way y'all killing Dak. See, if you kill Dak with all that what he got right there, and add in the 2 and 5, y'all sure gonna talk about Trey Lance and everybody else. The way y'all talk about Dak, y'all gonna kill the next guy. Cause he ain't gonna be as good as Dak. He's not. He's not. And you had to deal with that for about, oh God, what, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, depending on the skill set of the kid. You know, quarterbacks don't grow on trees. You say give them a shot. Well, you give them a shot, just don't talk about it. Say you giving up. You know, if this was a seesaw, you're giving up more stability than you shooting craps with Trey Lance. You know, you are. You know what you're gonna get out of that. No. 8 years, 2 and 5, but again, Kid Cowboy, that's not the whole story. It's not the whole story. You don't want to give him the credit, but it's not the whole story. This, what you see on the screen, is a part of the story. Or did the defense choke, Kid? The defense did give him over 40 points, right? I know Dak threw the pick 6 and threw another pick, but that counted for 7. Dak didn't play well. Nobody played well, but the defense, did Dak play defense? So we blaming the whole Cowboy loss on Dak Prescott against Green Bay. Really? See, that's why I was saying you can't see when your mind is made up that you don't like the man, then you know it is what it is. But the real truth of the matter is the Green Bay Aaron Rodgers game. They gave up dang near 40 points. You know, dang near 40 points at halftime. That's on Dak. Really? The 49er game, I got, you know, he just didn't make the play. Defense played well. That's a part of the story. He couldn't make the play. I'll give you that. He didn't. All of that has to be factored in. What I'm saying is that it's going to be hard to replace that. It's going to be hard to replace that type of production. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing on the screen, no matter what nobody want to say, that's production. It is. You got to tell the whole story. It's called a complete body of work. All right. Now, I have no doubt that, you know, unless something crazy happens, that gonna be gone. To answer the question earlier, I think William Keefe asked, is he gonna take the money or whatever? I was about to go with my scenario. Let's just say, for instance, let me find the question to be fair. I believe it was William Keefe. There it is. I already had it up. He said, would Dak choose a team to win now or go to a team for the money if a free agent next season? Well, wherever he goes, it's going to be the same money. He's going to reset the market as every other quarterback has. There will be about 10 to 12 teams that will be glad to have his services. He will be the number 1 free agent on the board next year. If he leaves Dallas Cowboys, his name will be right there at the top. It's just the truth. He will get paid. So that's what it's going to demand. Especially, William, if he comes in here again and has another 30 touchdown season. If he's, he's not going to be MVP. Hey, Freight Train, I see, if he has another 30 touchdown season, 4,000 yard year, Pro Bowl quarterback year, he's gonna get paid. The Cowboys just didn't want to pay him off, but somebody else sure enough will. So he's gonna get it. He ain't going, he ain't gonna be a free agent coming in talking about I'll do a deal with you. No. Well, that's the thing. I think I see something there. Kid says, "What if he don't make the playoffs?" He ain't gonna knock down the price. Justin Herbert ain't made no playoffs. Well, he made that 1 year. Got 2? Second highest paid in the league. Ain't won nothing. And ain't gonna knock nothing down. What if he do make the playoffs though? With a team that's considered to be less, as Jerry said. Then what? The man wins double digits as long as he's starting. The man wins. Yeah, the East side of Dallas overdue for a bad season. But Dak Prescott ain't had one. As long as the team led by Dak, they ain't had one. Ain't been double digits, at least ever since McCarthy been here. Ever since McCarthy been here, it's been double digit wins, even with Jason Garrett here. It's not gonna be, what if he makes the playoff? Then what you gonna say? Stock ain't down. He's second. He's came in second in MVP voting. That ain't no stock down. Stock went up. That's why he can sit in the position now and say, I want to reset the market. He may not get from Dallas, as I said. Dak Prescott, second in MVP voting this year. Hello. Stock didn't go down. It went up. Now, as owners may share some of the. How is he a journeyman? How? He ain't never been on the one team. How's Dak a journeyman? He's only been on one team his whole career. Come on now. We get a little ridiculous with the statements now. He can't be a journeyman when he's been on one team for 8 years. 2-5, I give you that, but that's not the whole story. It's just part of it. So, some of this stuff just ain't making sense. His stock ain't down, not when he had his best season as a pro last year. No, that's just the truth. I know, kid, and again, you're absolutely correct on what you're saying. 2-5. That's the absolute truth. 2-5, and whatever else you said, one wild card game. That's the truth, but it's not the whole truth. There's another chapters in his story that if you're gonna do a proper assessment of the quarterback position, you got to tell the whole story. You got to. So you don't want to say 12-5, 3 years. That's a part of the story. You don't want to say that though. You just want to concentrate on the playoffs. But you can't deny 12-5. That's the record. 3 straight years. It's all good. I mean, I've already said what I think about it. Yeah. I've already said it. Eastside, you just stay out of grown folk conversation, son. If you've been listening, you already know why. You on the outside looking in. You just hush. You don't worry about the team over there in Houston. You don't get into Cowboy business. So, Cowboys, but to answer your question in fairness, the Cowboys do not want to sign and pay him that amount of money. They don't. Because they don't, as I've said for 3 years since I've been doing this, they don't believe in him fully. See, with quarterbacks, you got to be all in. You can't be, partially in. They still got the same language. They saying, he's a great leader. He's a guy who will run after him. He's a great this and great that. But when it comes to the football field, the attitude is kind of quiet down. Even though they were up last year. He had a great year last year. But mostly when they talk about him, they're talking about his leadership. They talk about, what his off the field stuff is, what a great man he is, and all that type of stuff. But when they start talking about on the field, the same intensity is not there. Talking about him like that. And the reason why is because they don't quite believe him. Not 1,000%. Not the way that they believed in Romo. Romo didn't have to fight to get his money. Romo got it quick. Didn't even have to beg. Didn't have to do anything. You got to keep in mind, Dak Prescott, they don't believe in him. They let him play on 2 franchise tags. You don't let your quarterback play on no franchise tag. Same way the team did not believe in Kirk Cousins. How Kirk Cousins did the same thing because the team didn't fully believe in Kirk Cousins to commit to him long term. Now the Falcons just did it. But it's almost a mirror image. Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott. They don't fully believe in him, and they're not trying to pay $60 million to a quarterback, or 58 or 59 to a quarterback that they don't fully believe in. That's their choice. You know what I'm saying? So if they don't fully believe, I'm not knocking them. If you don't believe in them, then don't pay them. I mean, I ain't finna sit there like I've been 1,000% behind that. I've always told y'all, I still got the same type of, question marks. If we're down 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, and we have to strictly turn it to a passing team, I'm not sure Dak can get the job done. I believe he can get it done if we 1 score down. But 2, I got questions. And I know somebody could say, he got the most comebacks and all that. That's fine. That's part of the story. And that's a true statement. But my eye test is different from what the stats are saying. That's what Kid Cowboy is saying right here to me. His eye test says that he's below average. His eye test says that he can't get the job done. And all. That's what his eye test is saying. I ain't knocking him. I can tell you what time it's gonna be. I watched the same playoff game that y'all did. I watched the same playoff game that y'all did. And it seems that the part of the story is when that playoff game happens, he don't play well. Right, other than the Tampa Bay game. And I don't even count. He put up 30 against Green Bay last year, but at the point that we were down 45, 16 or something like that. I don't count the empty calorie yards. What teams are playing off, and you can just dink and doink and all that kind of stuff and put it down the field, and they're almost playing a dang prevent defense. I don't even count that. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm that, but I am saying this. When you have to do, and that's how NFL teams go, you have to do a total evaluation of Dak Prescott when you evaluate him. You can't pick the part that you like to support your narrative without giving all the other stuff. There's been a lot of games. Let me just put it like this. If we don't have Dak Prescott on his team last year, We do not win double-digit wins. Matter of fact, the real truth be told, if Dak Prescott wasn't on this team, we might have been drafting the top 10. Now, that is the truth. And please don't tell me about Cooper Rush. Teams figured him out, and it was going to be it. So he's above average. There ain't no doubt about that. He's a top 6, top 7 quarterback in the league. So I'm hard to say he's top 5. All I know is this. The same way you say all that, we don't know that voodoo dog. What evidence do we have that Trey Lance is Jordan Love? What evidence? Where's the evidence? We don't have any evidence to support that. You may want him to be the new Jordan Love, but we don't. No, kid Cowboy, you just talking nothing about. See, we can't go that route. He's 18 and 19, best quarterback in the league. Well, it's funny that everybody else say he's all pro, MVP candidate, number 2. I mean, come on now. Now ain't gonna go that route. He's up there. Stats. The consistent stats say he is. Put it that way. 30 touchdowns per year, 4,000 plus yards every year. Always in top 2 or 3 or 4 in quarterback rating. Always gonna be there. That's the story of his career. And I know what you're gonna say. 2 and 5. Yeah, I got it. That's the truth. It still don't take away that he won the All-Pro, he said. When you finish talking, All-Pro. And he got All-Pro because he did something. You just don't. They don't give out though. They may let the fans vote for Pro Bowl, but when you're All-Pro, that's earned. You earned it. You ain't gotta like it. Your stuff is true. All-Pro went out in the first round. That's the truth. But the thing is, he's still an All-Pro. That's the truth. Voodoo says no teams will trade for Dak. You can't trade anyway, see, because he has a no trade clause. So there's no sense in talking about that. They saw him sold his pants in the playoffs, he said, and the wild, nervous eyes sealed his fate. I believe that's what you were saying. That's all about interpretation. That and I believe that the Jones family, Voodoo Dog, leads or is leaning to your statement there. I believe that. That's why he's not saying. They just don't want to pay $60 million. Like Kid Cowboy said, I give him. He ain't just got there. He been there 8 years. Your mind kind of get made up of what a person is in 8 years. That's the truth. Now that part I agree with. 8 years is a long time. You pretty much know what you got. Even though that game is elevating, seems like almost every year. But they know and say, somebody, look, they'll never say it in front of the camera. They'll never have a press conference about it. But behind closed doors, there has been a meeting between Jerry and Steven and maybe even Will. And they have said, there's only so far we can go with him. I'm quite sure they're saying that. I'm quite sure they've said it. They've never downplayed him like that in the public. Their actions are showing, however. Like I said, this is the same ownership group that let him play on 2 franchise tags. 2 prove-it years and all that type of stuff. And he proved it. That's why they signed him to the first contract. And now that what they're saying probably by now is, look, we gave you a roster. You had all these all pros, you had all the Pro Bowlers on there, and we out in the first round. We can't invest into that anymore. Your track record shows that you're good for one and done. That's part of the evaluation. At least that's what I think. That's what they're thinking. And despite him showing the stats that I just showed, they're saying that look, we gave you a 4th round running back in Ezekiel Elliott. You had an all pro line. We gave you Amari Cooper. You had CeeDee Lamb 1 year. You had a healthy Michael Gallup. You had all that. The defenses were not great at all until Dan Quinn came. So you had an offense. Your offenses, kudos to you, Dak. Without you, we wouldn't be the number 1 offense in the league. You did score 30 just about every game. We have to give you credit for that. You did that, but we couldn't get past certain aspects. Your record against teams that have winning records, it's not good at all. Your record against teams that are below 500, you look like a superstar. I'm quite shocked. See, this is the whole story. This is the whole story you gotta give. You just can't say I'm giving it to you. That's what I would be doing. What's your record against winning teams? You 22 and 40 something, whatever. That's not good. Okay. What's your record against teams under 500? Well, that's good. That's part of the whole evaluation. And what the Cowboys have said, or at least what they're showing is that we can't do that. It's their money. That's how they want to run it. But I'm already telling y'all, I don't want to hear nothing. I'm telling y'all a whole year in advance. I don't want to hear anything about, we got to get a quarterback. We got to give Trey Lance a chance. Let him go. Okay. Just don't have no expectations. Watch out. Some of y'all going to be crazy enough to say, watch out the offense run with Trey in there now. Just watch. Watch how Trey Lance going to get it going. And then it'll be like, it is what it is. Y'all done got me talking. I was going to hold up the lines, but all I got is 12 minutes. Yes, sir, Voodoo Dog. If Dak waives his no trade, he can be traded. So you can't trade him. All you can do is let him walk. That's what the position that the Cowboys are in now. You let him play out the year. He becomes an unrestricted free agent. He's able to go to any team that he wants to. And you can rest assured there will be teams that will give him, not that he's asking for it, it's just that because of who he is, especially if we have another good year next year. I mean, he's going to demand. He's going to demand top dollar. Not he is. I'm saying because of who he is as a quarterback, despite what you've seen in this chat, he's going to do it. Marlon said, why blow up a good team that is winning? Because they don't like the quarterback. Or they refuse to see what he's done. And I'm not knocking them, Cowboy fans are saying, okay, what have you done in the playoffs? You're good in the regular season. But what have you done in the playoffs? That's a legitimate question. That's a question that needs to be asked. And that's a question that needs answering. But at the same time, though, the real evaluation is, yes, just like they keep saying he's 2-5. and he choked. But you can't really say that because you got to do an evaluation of the game. Was it Dak Prescott's fault that we were down 48-16 at one point against Green Bay? Anybody gonna say anything about the defense? Choking, I may add. The defense, Dak Prescott don't play safety, linebacker, defensive tackle. See what I'm saying? You don't want to do that, Voodoo, because you're going to be shocked to see what he's done. And since you're going stats, he ain't got that many interceptions in the playoffs. No, sir. You don't want to see that now because he's going to kill a lot of your narrative. He just didn't win. Or the team didn't win. But if you think he the only reason why, especially the Green Bay game, I don't even see how anybody arguing with it. The defense was horrible. Dak Prescott didn't have anything to do with it. That's just the truth. I don't see how anybody could keep blaming that on Dak when you're getting scored on every time they get the ball. It's just when Aaron Rodgers went to halftime against Dallas that year where he made that incredible play, the Cowboys were down at halftime 31-3. All right, I'm not down to dunk, Shane. I'm looking at the draft. Cause that's what the Cowboys believe in. That the draft is the way to get everything going. So, you ain't gonna hit on all the draft picks to go with what you're saying, Shane. You better hit on at least 3 of them, and you better hope that last year's draft picks step up, or they are what you think they are. That's where the Cowboys are building this thing. So you better hope. This year you better hit hard in the draft. That's just the bottom line. It is what it is. I'll go ahead and say this, Shane. At some point you had to blow it up because the window, in my view, was closing on all your all-pro players. I don't know why. I don't know even. If somebody said the Cowboys are taking a quarterback in the first round, stop it. Stop it. They're not taking the quarterback in the first round. They're not. I know y'all, and you got a few quarterbacks in there. They're not taking the quarterback. If anything, you should have just stuck with talking about Trey Lance. They already got something there in Trey Lance. They're not going to. They're not going to do that. Well, Voodoo, if you say an interception in the playoffs, obviously you done looked at it. You say average 1 a game. He's had 7, so you got 1. But the part is, give me the complete story now. How many touchdowns does he have in the playoffs? Since you go on that route, you got to tell the whole story if you're going to tell it now. Just can't highlight the negative. You got to tell the whole story. And keep in mind that the defenses were, or at least, I just stick with the Green Bay game. The defense was hard. Joe says, why would Dak play on a 1-year deal and have a chance of getting hurt that would end his career? That's the question you should have asked a few years ago when they made him play on 2 franchise tag deals. Can't ask that now. He bet on himself, and they paid him. They paid him the contract. Jerry did pay him a contract, and they paid him the $40 million that everybody cried over too. So they paid him. They did. They gave him a superstar roster. Every year, everybody say the same thing. The Cowboys had the best roster in the league and all that. So we can't say the Jones family did not do their job. They did. They gave him a roster. They gave him Cooper for years. Lamb came that rookie year, did pretty good. Gallup was healthy back then, had a good tight end. He had an all-pro line, uh, you know, Pro Bowl line here. I mean, and they were, at the same time, they were the number one defense. Number one offense in the league for years. That's with Kellen Moore. If they weren't number one, they was top 2 or 3. So we can't say that they didn't produce. They produced. You had to go back and look at games. We just talking now. The defense was not good until Quinn got here. At least the last couple of years. The defense was not good at all. It's just the truth. But y'all guys, all I'm saying is now, futuristically, I hope some of y'all stay with me. I'll be here unless the Lord decides to call me home. But if not, I don't want to hear nothing about if Dak walks. I don't want to hear nothing about no complaints about Trey Lance not being what y'all think. I don't want to hear it. I don't. See, the Cowboys, since I threw up the Shedeur Sanders, the Cowboys are, they're slick enough, and I'm just throwing this out here. Not slick, but it would make sense. If the Pittsburgh Steelers, let me say this. If Russell Wilson is not, playing good in Pittsburgh next year, then they're going to let him go, and at some point they're going to have to let him go anyway because Fields is behind them. And they want to, get as much as they can with Justin Fields there before they have to pay him. If Russell plays well, I wouldn't be surprised even if Russell plays well, that Pittsburgh let him go because you got to turn it over to Justin Fields. I wouldn't be surprised if they let him go, and he would be the perfect bridge quarterback till you get a quarterback in here so that you can turn it over to whoever it is you want to be the future quarterback. That's what the Cowboys will do. And I know they will because they brought in Andy Dalton. Y'all remember that, don't you? Okay. Well, it's just me throwing it up. I ain't just saying it just to say it. You're gonna have to do something eventually. If Cooper Rush, let me just fast forward. I'm almost done. If Cooper Rush loses his backup job this year to Trey Lance, Cooper Rush will not be signing with the Cowboys next year. Okay, we know that. Dak Prescott, if they let him play out this contract, he will leave as well. So now all you have is Trey Lance on the roster. You got to get a veteran here. So, I'm just saying, it just makes sense what I just said. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Russell can go down there and really have a good year. And they may re-sign him. Who knows? But sooner or later, they got to turn it over to Fields. That's automatic. All right, those scenarios. We might talk about this in a couple of days on a Monday. Gotta go. Y'all change it, but like I said, it's y'all show today. Freestyle. And you guys did that. Y'all come back Monday. I'm gonna continue this talk because as always, Dak is always a very, very, very hot topic. And we need to talk about that. But Dak will be your quarterback this year. And because he's Dak, he's gonna do what Dak does. 30 touchdowns, 4,000 plus yards. And some of y'all gonna say, and exit out the playoffs. Okay. That's the whole story. All right, I'm out. Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Come on back out and hang with me. We'll do it again. Appreciate everybody that is on here. Before we leave, everybody hit that like button for me, please. Do that for me. Okay. Shane says he'd rather have a driver quarterback and let him learn on the field like Troy did. I'm not a fan of the bridge quarterback. That's fine. Just don't complain. Just don't complain. Don't complain. Don't have high expectations. Don't do it. Because the truth be told, you had a quarterback. You have a quarterback now. One of the top ones in the whole league. It's just the truth. That's what the story is. All right. See you guys Monday. I'm out. We'll see you next time for the one and the only. This has been the one and only, the Big Time Show.